Welcome to Golden Flame Stars. Imagine your childhood not as a memory, but as a headline the world never stops replaying. In this video, we look back at Hollywood's brightest child stars and the ways fame shaped their growing years. The pressure to stay perfect, the loss of privacy, and the hard choices made too young. Some found a way to reinvent themselves. Others paid a painful price. Watch closely, because the real story isn't the movies, it's what happened after. At age 10, Mara Hobel stepped into the spotlight with her iconic role in Mommy Dearest, a film that never stopped being talked about. One intense project can haunt a child and Apos' self-image. Consequently, she stepped away to a private life after just a handful of roles. Now 50, she primarily teaches youth acting classes at Rising Star Productions, while continuing to take on guest roles in television projects. Star Wars. The Phantom Menace turned Jake Lloyd into a global child star at the age of 9. But the spotlight quickly turned harsh, school bullying and non-stop commentary, and he quit acting by 12. In later years, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia and faced serious setbacks, including a 2015 high-speed chase arrest and an 18-month inpatient stay after a major episode in 2023. Now 36, he's in rehab, committed to therapy and medication. Shia LaBeouf's breakout role in Even Stevens at 14 earned him a Daytime Emmy and instant stardom. That early fame fed reckless cycles, highly public arrests, including 2014 in NYC and 2017 in Savannah, and open struggles with addiction and anger. He was also sued by ex-FKA Twigs over abuse allegations, a case settled in 2025. Now 39, he's tried to rebuild through smaller roles and reflection. At 11, Brad Renfro's role in The Client brought instant fame that rewired his world. Yet, growing up in public left no room for error. As his spotlight faded, personal struggles intensified, leading to a cycle of high-profile arrests and failed stints in rehab. Tragically, he died at 25 from an overdose. A haunting reminder of how early success can turn into a desperate struggle for survival. At age 6, Shirley Temple's role in Bright Eyes made her America's biggest star, lifting national morale with a child's smile. Yet, such fame stole her childhood, turning playtime into performance and identity into branding. She eventually retired as a teen to reclaim a quiet life. Her later success in public service proved she grew far beyond the pint-sized image the world could never forget. She died in 2014 at age 85. Starting at 6, Mickey Rooney became America's top box office draw by 16 with A Family Affair. Such early fame warped his upbringing, as constant work blurred boundaries and forced adulthood too soon. Despite his stardom, Rooney faced failed marriages and financial ruin, proving the industry often exploits young talent. His 93-year life remains a sobering reminder. When success arrives prematurely, it provides no safety, only a lifelong struggle to survive. Catapulted to global fame at 11 as Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe struggled to grow up like a normal kid. He's spoken about living with OCD and breathing difficulties, while the whirlwind schedule and constant attention made school and friendships hard to maintain. Paparazzi tracked his every move, turning privacy into a luxury. He battled alcohol dependence and mental strain, then rebuilt his identity through daring stage work and offbeat films. Now 36, he's respected for his range, not just nostalgia. At 11, Rupert Grint became Ron Weasley, one-third of a generation-defining trio. Overnight, normal life vanished. He said he missed the simple days before fame and felt uneasy, even afraid, when photographers trailed him hoping for something to happen. Stepping outside could feel like existing just to be snapped. After the films, he chose smaller movies and TV to protect privacy. Now 37, he's a steady actor and dad with heart. Elijah Wood began acting at age 8 and soon skyrocketed to global child stardom in films like Radio Flyer. Unlike many of his peers, Wood spectacularly defied the Andropos, child star curse, and Opos, successfully transitioning into an adult legend as Frodo in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That pressure could have swallowed him, but he leaned into grounded choices. Now 44, he's known for steady, selective work and staying human under myth-level fame. At 15, River Phoenix became a teen idol after Stand By Me, and fame shoved him into adulthood overnight. The attention was constant, and so were the expectations around image, money, and being perfect. He chased deeper roles while trying to stay grounded in a scene that glamorized excess. In 1993, he died from a drug overdose at 23. His story still warns how fast fame can burn. By 6, Jonathan Brandis was acting, and by his teens, he was a heartthrob. Fan mail, headlines, and pressure to stay the boy everyone loves. That kind of fame can trap you in one version of yourself while you're still growing. When roles slowed in his 20s, the whiplash hit hard. In 2003, he died by suicide at 27. His story highlights how fragile identity can be after stardom. Cast at 11 as Peter in Finding Neverland, Freddie Highmore became the rare child actor critics took seriously. Fame arrived early, but he stayed low-key, choosing craft over chaos while growing up in public. As an adult, he reinvented himself. Bates Motel proved his range, and The Good Doctor made him a global lead. Now 33, he works selectively, writing and producing on his own terms. At 14, Corey Feldman's roles in The Goonies and Stand By Me cemented his premier child star status, yet he was treated more like a product than a person. This early exposure to industry exploitation fueled years of addiction and chaos. For Feldman, the spotlight offered no protection, only vulnerability. Now 54, he advocates for change, turning his survival and past trauma into a cautionary tale for future generations. At 16, Taylor Lautner became a global phenomenon as Jacob in Twilight, but his physique, not his talent, stole headlines. That sudden objectification and constant scrutiny severely shaped his confidence and identity. The spotlight, full of judgment, forced a premature retreat to safeguard his mental health. Now 33, Lautner operates on his own terms, prioritizing stability and self-worth over the chaos of early fame. At 18, Kristen Stewart became the center of a pop culture storm with Twilight, and early fame made growing up feel public and unforgiving. Every mistake, relationship, and mood turned into a headline. That intensity pushed her to retreat, toughen up, and fight for control of her own narrative. She later rebuilt through daring indie choices and acclaimed performances. Now 35, she's known for range, courage, and hard-won self-definition. At just 6, Joseph Gordon-Levitt began working steadily, and Third Rock from the Sun made him famous while he was still figuring out who he was. Growing up in front of audiences taught him discipline, but it also pushed him to protect his identity early. At the height of teen fame, he stepped away for college and privacy. Now 44, he's built a long career by choosing balance, not burnout. At 17, Keira Knightley burst into global fame with Bend It Like Beckham and then Pirates of the Caribbean. Essentially learning adulthood while tabloids graded her face, body, and image every week. She's described anxiety and panic tied to that pressure, and how it forced her to build boundaries young. Now 40, she's a prestige actress who picks smart roles and fiercely guards her private life. At 6, Heather O'Rourke became unforgettable as Carol and in Poltergeist, and the public instantly owned her innocence. Growing up famous meant long sets, adult expectations, and a childhood measured in interviews and premieres. She kept working, but she never got the chance to grow up off camera. In 1988, she died suddenly at 12, shocking Hollywood. Her brief life is a reminder that child stardom can be fragile.
At 5, Mara Wilson won hearts in Mrs. Doubtfire, then starred in Matilda at 9, becoming an iconic child star. Yet, behind the scenes, tragedy struck. Her mother died of cancer. This grief and the pressures of fame led her to leave acting for education and writing. Now 38, she is a successful writer and voice artist, appearing in the spotlight by choice, not demand. At 11, Anna Klumsky won hearts as Vada in My Girl, instantly becoming a global child icon. However, the intense scrutiny of fame led her to leave acting for a normal college life and a corporate career. She eventually returned on her own terms, earning multiple Emmy nominations for Veep. Now, 44, she continues to thrive, proving that stepping away was essential for her long-term success. Hayley Mills was 12 when she landed Tiger Bay. Then Disney fame exploded with Pollyanna, earning her a juvenile Oscar at 14 and a Golden Globe soon after. Growing up that beloved can be a trap. The industry wants the same girl forever. She kept working anyway, shifting into adult roles and stage work with grit. Now 79, she's still active, quietly enduring. At 12, Kirsten Dunst became an iconic child star after her breakout role in Interview with the Vampire. While navigating early fame and the industry's immense pressure, she transitioned seamlessly into mature roles, from Spider-Man to her Oscar-nominated performance in The Power of the Dog. Now 43, she remains a powerhouse in cinema, balancing a prestigious acting career with a grounded, successful personal life. At 10, Henry Thomas captivated the world as Elliot in E.T., instantly becoming a global child icon. This sudden, overwhelming fame made his early years feel strange and intense. Despite the pressure, he persevered, quietly building a remarkably steady career. Now 54, he remains a respected, hard-working actor, proving that true talent can endure long after the initial lightning strike of stardom. At 9, Scarlett Johansson made her film debut in North, but at 13, she truly broke through in The Horse Whisperer, playing pain with an old soul calm. Early fame meant auditions, press, and growing up under adult expectations while still figuring out who she was. Now, 41, Scarlett leads blockbuster franchises and prestige work, proving she didn't just survive child stardom, she shaped it. Jodie Foster started in commercials at age 3 and became a global sensation at 12 in Taxi Driver. Instead of succumbing to fame, she prioritized her education at Yale to maintain mental balance. Now, 63, she remains a Hollywood icon, balancing acting and directing with calm, intentional control. She successfully navigated the industry's intense pressures to build a lasting, respected career on her own terms today. At 12, Lindsay Lohan became a massive teen icon after The Parent Trap. However, from 2007 to 2015, her stardom spiraled into relentless legal battles and addiction struggles. After a necessary hiatus to reclaim her peace and sobriety, the 39-year-old actress successfully returned to the screen. Now she focuses on major projects like Freakier Friday, proving that her resilience has led to a powerful career resurgence. At 9, Anna Paquin debuted in The Piano, becoming one of the youngest Oscar winners in history. Dubbed the world's best child actor, she transitioned into a massive global icon through X-Men and True Blood. Now, 43, she faces health challenges affecting her mobility and speech. Despite using a cane, she remains resilient, focusing on her recovery while selectively choosing meaningful projects on her own terms. At 10, Macaulay Culkin carried Home Alone on his shoulders, instantly becoming a massive Hollywood child star. This overnight fame brought immense pressure. Privacy vanished amidst family tensions and relentless tabloid noise. Struggling with early stardom, he stepped back to reclaim his adulthood. Now, 45, the iconic actor returns on his own terms, choosing selective projects and defining his own path. Drew Barrymore was 7 when E.T. made her the world's little firecracker, cementing her status as a massive global icon. However, that early fame brought chaos, rebellion, and addiction. She entered rehab as a very young teen. She rebuilt herself with grit and honesty. Today, at 50, the ultimate survivor sparkles as a successful producer and talk show anchor, proving her resilience remains timeless. Jerry Mathers rose to fame at 9 as Beaver in Leave It to Beaver, becoming the face of an idealized American childhood. The challenge of early stardom was being frozen in time by the public while growing up. Eventually, he stepped away to pursue a more normal life. Now 77, he is still remembered with great warmth as television's original and most beloved little brother forever. Jonathan Lipnicki was 6 when Jerry Maguire made him instantly famous. Then he rode the wave through Stuart Little, the adorable kid everyone quoted. But adulthood in Hollywood is a different audition. He's openly said the career momentum didn't follow him, and he's trying to turn the ship around. Now, 35, he's training, choosing roles carefully, and pushing for a real comeback. At 13, Edward Furlong catapulted from a boys and girls club to global stardom as John Connor in Terminator 2. However, sudden fame preceded years of struggle, including rehab in 2000 and legal arrests involving Monica Keena. After serving 5 years of probation and completing counseling, the 48-year-old actor has maintained sobriety, now focusing his career on various independent film projects. At 18, Alicia Silverstone became a global icon in Clueless, earning a massive studio deal. However, this overnight A-list fame brought cruel public scrutiny and body shaming, especially during Batman and Robin. Feeling isolated by the industry's toxicity, she eventually chose to step back. Now, 49, she works selectively and has become a powerful, dedicated voice for veganism and animal rights activism, finding peace beyond Hollywood. Starting at 11 months, Brooke Shields became a massive global icon, with her beauty famously dubbed the eighth wonder of the world. While The Blue Lagoon brought intense sexualization and overwhelming pressure, she reclaimed her narrative through education and resilience. Now 60, she serves as president of Actors Equity, leading the industry on her own terms after nearly 6 decades in the spotlight. At 10, Tatum O'Neal starred with her father in Paper Moon, becoming the youngest competitive Oscar winner, a record she still holds today. Fame arrived instantly, but maturity proved difficult. After decades of family strife, she reconciled with her father before his 2023 death. Now 61, she continues recovering from a severe 2020 stroke caused by an overdose, highlighting a life marked by both historical success and significant struggle. At 13, Christian Bale was chosen by Steven Spielberg from thousands for Empire of the Sun, and his performance made him a global prodigy overnight. But fame followed him back to school. He's spoken about bullying and how the pressure felt unbearable. He kept going anyway, reinventing himself again and again. Now 51, Bale remains Hollywood's ultimate chameleon, working on his own fierce terms. Cast at 7 as Fuller in Home Alone, Kieran Culkin became a massive Hollywood child star alongside his famous brother, Macaulay Culkin. While navigating the pressures of early fame, he focused on sharpening his craft while dodging the overwhelming spotlight. Now 43, the acclaimed actor has successfully transitioned into adulthood, earning prestigious awards and proving that his early promise has evolved into a sophisticated, enduring career. At 16, Leonardo DiCaprio stepped into America's living rooms on Growing Pains as Luke Brower, a homeless teen with sharp edges, and suddenly the kid with the smile had fans everywhere. Next, his role as Jack Dawson in Titanic brought unprecedented global fame. The attention could have swallowed him, so he chased craft, not celebrity, taking riskier roles until respect arrived. Now 51, he's an A-list actor, producer, and activist who still picks stories with weight, proving that true substance outlasts the fleeting nature of stardom.
With his boyish smile and polished, clean-cut looks, Frankie Avalon became a teenage heartthrob of the 1950s. His hit, Venus, along with the popular film Beach Party, cemented his status as a pop sensation. Now 85, he still carries the calm charm that once made him one of America's most beloved teen idols. With his clean-cut looks, bright smile, and wholesome charm, Pat Boone became a major teen idol of the 1950s. Hits like Love Letters in the Sand and his film April Love made him a pop superstar. Now 90, he remains an enduring symbol of the era's softer, family-friendly style. With her long dark hair, striking features, and powerful voice, Linda Ronstadt captivated young fans in the late 60s. Her breakout single Different Drum and later smash You're No Good showcased her star power. Now 79, she's celebrated as one of music's most influential female voices. With his youthful smile, bright eyes, and cute Beatle charm, a young Paul McCartney became one of the world's biggest teen idols of the early 60s. It's Like I Want to Hold Your Hand made girls scream worldwide. Now 83, he remains a music legend whose appeal has never faded. Donny Osmond's bright smile and wholesome, boy-next-door charm made him a sensation of the 1970s. His hit, Puppy Love, and his popular variety show Donny and Marie captured the hearts of millions. Today at 68, he continues performing with the same warm energy that once defined his rise to teen idol fame. Paul Anka's expressive eyes, polished style, and confident stage presence turned him into one of the 1950s most adored teen idols. His breakout hit, Diana, catapulted him to international fame. Today at 84, he continues performing worldwide, remaining a timeless symbol of early pop sophistication. With his sharp jawline, intense gaze, and effortless teen rebel aura, Fabian Forte quickly rose to fame in the late 1950s. Hits like Turn Me Loose made him a chart favorite among young fans. Now 82, he still appears at nostalgia events, proudly carrying the spirit of his early stardom. With long blonde hair and a rebellious, sun-kissed look, Leif Garrett became a defining teen idol of the 1970s. Hits like I Was Made for Dancin' and Runaway Rita fueled his fame. Today at 64, he reflects on a life shaped by early stardom and lasting cultural impact. Ricky Nelson, the rock and roll prince of the 1950s, captivated millions with his gentle smile and signature tousled hair. His stellar career, marked by hits like Poor Little Fool. Tragedy struck on December 31st, 1985, when he died at 45 in a plane crash, ending the life of a star who defined a generation. Davy Jones' sweet smile, small stature, and irresistible British charm made him the standout teen idol of the Monkees. Hits like Daydream Believer and I Wanna Be Free elevated his star power. He passed away in 2012 at 66, but remains a beloved figure of 1960s pop culture. Thank you for watching Golden Flame Stars. From Freddie Highmore's quiet discipline to Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint fighting to become more than one famous role, these stories prove one thing. Childhood fame can shape a life forever. Some, like Keira Knightley and Kristen Stewart, built boundaries to survive the spotlight. Others, like Jake Lloyd, remind us how cruel public pressure can be. If these journeys moved you, leave a comment. Whose story stayed with you most?